Hello and welcome to the 7th episode of the Dolbear Webshow. Today we have guest Dexter Hercules and we have Steve Forrest as well. We also have our usual Brent and Yard. Let's get started with the show. Guys, come on, let's go. Alright, this is taking too long. Ready?
Wow. Very good. Well, thank you for joining me. Well, hello everybody, and as Jill has already said, welcome to show number 7. And my guests today are the wonderful Steve Forrest and Dexter Hercules. And with a name like Dexter Hercules, he was always destined to be in this profession. Hello guys.
Hey.
How are you?
Great.
Yeah, very well today.
Well, thank you for showing up. Two gentlemen that I know very, very well. Dexter I've known since he was about this big. And both of them, unfortunately, are Arsenal football supporters. But we're not going to discuss that today. We're going to stay away from football. Dexter, so you've been out touring with Ollie Murs.
I have, yeah.
How's that been? And how's that gig come about?
It's been really, really good. I've been playing with him since October last year, and we've been basically on the road up until we're in July now. So up until the end of June, we was on the road. I've had July off, and then August we go back on the road doing a few festivals, Australia and Japan. But it's been really, really, really good. Really enjoyed it.
Have you changed the way that you've played from when you did the Rita Ora gig?
Definitely. The Rita gig was a lot more kind of busy, you know, loads more kind of drum fills and that kind of thing. This gig has been a lot more grooving, different style of music completely, you know, but I've had to change a few things, take some things out, put some things in.
Okay.
My actual setup is completely different to how it was on Rita. Rita had like 5 toms. You know, this I've just had one up, one down, really, really simple, but it's great. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and Ollie's obviously over the last few years has become a global international artist now.
Yeah.
So I guess it's taken you to places you haven't been to before.
Yeah, well, we just finished an arena tour. We did UK and Europe. So I haven't actually done an arena tour before.
Okay.
But we just finished that, and that was really, really good. We did 4 nights at the O2.
Oh well, thank you. Thanks for the invite.
It's all right.
I must
Did you
have
enjoy
missed
it?
that one. Yeah, I must have missed that.
But yeah, it was great. Great experience.
And Ollie's obviously such a cool guy.
He's a lad. Yeah, he's a really, really down to earth character. You know, loves his football, so me and him get on really well. Yeah,
well, unfortunately, do you have arguments? Him being a Manchester United supporter.
Every now and then, yeah, it got a little bit tense when we was on the road and Arsenal was playing United in the FA Cup. When we obviously knocked him out,
right?
So
it didn't go down too well.
It wasn't great, but I had a great time anyway.
Steve Forrest.
Hello.
So you're originally from California.
Is it?
Okay, and you land the Placebo gig. How did that come about?
My band that I was in at the time ended up supporting Placebo for a few gigs around sort of Arizona, San Diego, and then finally Vegas. After I left that band, a few months later, I heard that the old drummer was out, and so I just called him. Like, you know, I got the information off my old management company, and it was just sort of, you know, why not? Let's just see. I didn't really expect to get it, and then Brian called me up the next day, and that was it. He said, "You moved to London," and then January of 2008, moved to London, and I've been here ever since.
Right, and how long ago so 2008? For how long was you with the band?
A little over 7 years.
Right. Okay. So again, I guess that took you to a lot of great places around the world.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, because where I'm from is such a small little town, you know. I mean, like, and so to kind of go from that, and then I'd been signed for a few years and doing a bits of tours like all around the States and all that, but that was it. You know, that was my big tour. It was like Warped Tour. It was a big tour, 43 states. Woo, you know. But then like doing that and then coming over here, even just coming to London for the first time blew my mind. For example, you know, I didn't really own a passport before. I didn't really need to, and then automatically just started doing. You know, we did about two and a half, you know, world tours, like sort of back to back, record, world tour, record, world tour, record, world tour. So it was kind of like the past 7 years of which is kind of a blur, you know, but really amazing, like a lifetime full of experiences shoved in there.
I mean, like Dexter said about changing when you went from Rita to Ollie, and to change the way he set up and the way he played. And did you have to have, you know, was there big learning curves?
Yeah, there was massive learning curve. You know, the band that I used to be in was much more busy, sort of, you know, a lot of kind of, we loved bands like At the Drive-In Percussion that kind of went with that, you know, really sort of busy type drumming and time signature change, you know, 3 different time signatures in one song type, and we'd map everything out. It was just kind of a nightmare. And then coming from that to Placebo, which is much more, like you said, you talk about groove-based, it was like, Placebo was not what I would consider a groove-based band, what I heard it, but it was very simple, just sort of boot-gap type drums. And so to go from that and simplify, and what I tried to do was just make that boot-gap into more of a sort of swing thing. And obviously, once me and you started working together, that brought a lot of the groove into my playing, and now that's the kind of stuff that I prefer to do, is this sort of more funk-based stuff. You know?
Cool. Well, as Steve was just saying that, I ended up teaching Steve for
4 years?
Wow, 4 years. Okay. Dexter, let's move on quickly from there. Dexter, what was your first break?
My first break, probably playing with Eliza Doolittle, which was maybe about five years ago or so. I got that gig. I had to audition to play with her. It was at a time when I was like just kind of finishing college. I was gonna go to Berkeley.
Because you went to the Brit School, didn't you?
I went to the Brit School, then took a gap year, and I was like, you know, really had my mindset on, I just want to go to America, you know, and so I took this gap year, kind of planned it all out, and really wanted to go to Berkeley. I got in, but I still needed to, you know, raise some money. So during that time, I was kind of just working and stuff like that, and then somebody called me to do this audition for this artist called Eliza Doolittle. I didn't really know who she was at the time, but I went, and I didn't have any gigs, so I was just like, right, I'm gonna put my mind to this and really try and go for it. And I got the gig, which was, it was an amazing experience. She was on the road for maybe about 2.5 years, and I got to travel the world with her and do loads of things that I didn't really think that I would have been able to do at that time. So yeah, that was my first break. It was really good.
Cool.
Now, Dexter, you were Young Drummer of the Year finalist for 2006, 7 and 8, and you've actually come back to judge the competition.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you as a platform to getting recognised, and do you think that sort of competitions are important?
It was a great experience. The first time I did it, I was probably about 14 when I did that, and I learned a lot of things, you know, being able to do that, especially not winning. You know, like for me, it definitely helped me musically, like the whole soloing thing, the interviews. I gained a lot of valuable, you know, experience from doing that. Competitions, I do think, are great because they help you to up your game as a player. You know, when you know that you have to compete, you have to push yourself. You know, so for me it was good, and there was no bad vibes between any of the drummers there. It was, you know, friendly competition, but it definitely helped. And I guess, yeah, it did put me on the map, I guess, as well. You know, people knew who I was because I did that competition.
And of course you met me for the first
And
time.
I met, you know, the
so what
lovely
else?
man
You
himself.
met a Brighton Hove Albion supporter and it changed your life.
And you did do it for 3 years. You applied for 3
I did, yeah.
Couldn't get rid of him.
No.
I know. But, you know,
Kept coming back.
I had to keep on going back, you know, because it was just the experience. Every time I got to the finals, I didn't think I was actually, you know, gonna get there. So, like I said, every year, you know, I came back. Hopefully, I improved, you know, and it was just a great experience.
And I think you're a great example of what that competition's about, because, like you say, it's not about winning, because you're very young at that age, and obviously you've gone on and, you know,
yeah. I mean,
great gigs now.
You just take the chances that come your way, you know. But for me, it was something that just developed my playing, developed me as a person, you know, so.
I think we've got a video, haven't we?
Yeah, so we are going to go to a video of one of the finalists now from 2015. That was great.
Excellent. Yeah, very good.
So just want to ask a quick question, Steve, which is actually why you left Placebo.
I haven't really spoken about it much since it all happened. I did an interview with Gemma Hill the other day, actually, and sort of addressed it. Funny enough.
Drummer magazine.
Yeah. But I left. It's kind of a number of things. The reason why I left. I think mostly it was I was a bit stifled creatively in the band. They'd been doing it about 14 years before I'd come along, so they had a certain way that they liked to write and a certain way that they liked their sound to be. And obviously me, I make records. I'm a drummer, but I'm many things, and I love to create and conduct in a sense. And it was very difficult to do that after a while. I think as I kind of grew in confidence and kind of grew up, I became much more independent as a player. And it got to the point where, relationships weren't really the best either, and it was one of those things where it wasn't really fair for, I think, either of us. And so I respectfully bowed out, and it was a very amicable thing. Like, we all kind of knew that it had run its course. We had 3 great records together, loads of great tours, and Matt Lunn, the guy that's in right now, is by all accounts a really lovely bloke who really loves the gig, and I wanted to go to somebody that would really enjoy it, really appreciate it for what it is, And it was one of the hardest things I think I've ever had to do in my entire life. But
leaving, but
yeah, it was tough. But I think it was a good,
And now you're fronting your own band, so
yeah, actually, I'm very excited. I have two bands. So the side project that I had going on that I'm fronting is called Planes. I'm playing guitar and singing in that one, playing loads of lap steel and things. It's really creative, very
which
fun.
Another one of my students on drums.
Yeah, they went, of course, but another one of your students as my drummer. Yeah, and then I just started a new project with a bassist from the Kooks, Max Rafferty. That we're going into Rockfield Studios in Wales to record an EP on Monday, which is very exciting. So that's where Bohemian Rhapsody was like recording. We're going to get to play on Freddie's piano and stuff. So it's really, really exciting. And that I'm drumming and singing. Okay. So we're both like doing kind of dead weather thing. We're both singing simultaneously. He's on bass, I'm on drums, and we're both singing. So it's it's great. Cool. I'm getting to play again, and it's been really, really fun drumming again.
Excellent.
Right, we're now going to go into our favourite, or one of our favourite features, which is Yard's Yard. This week, Yard actually talks about his favourite venues. Over to you, Yard.
Hi, Mike and Jill. Today, you're back in Yard's Yard at the Vintage Drum Yard. And today, our little chat is about my favourite venues worldwide and why. My top venue worldwide is the River Plate Stadium in Argentina, which has the best crowd in the world. And to gauge this, get on YouTube and watch AC/DC at the River Plate, and you'll know exactly why. The place is just heaving with music fans. They sing the melody in every song, and they just have a fantastic time. And for me, that's my judge of a good show. It's not the music, it's the crowd. And so that's number one. And my second favourite venue worldwide is the Gorge in Washington State. And to see it, it's everything it says. It's a gorge, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's hard to concentrate on your work whilst working there, because you're always looking around, because the views are stunning. And it's always a good open air gig, and we always look forward to being there and playing there. Now, venue number 3 would be the Hammersmith Apollo, just for old time's sake, which when you're playing in bands and hoping to play somewhere, there was an order. The order was always your local club, so you could show off to your mates. The second one would have been the Marquee, and the third one was always, when you hit it big, was the Hammersmith Odeon, as it was known then. And been there quite a few times with bands, and always enjoy it, and it always remains the same, apart from they sold off the car park, but apart from that, it's a great venue. So that's number 3. Venue number 4 would be Madison Square Gardens, but that is my favourite. They're a great crew there. I love New York, and we always do multiple nights there, and it holds so many memories, and it's just a fantastic arena, full of history with boxing matches, and Clay, Frazier, and everybody's been there. Everyone's played the gig, and it goes back to Zeppelin days and any major band, the Stones. So it's full of history, and just an amazing place to play. And we're on venue number 5, which is getting difficult, because all arenas worldwide now all look the same. But it's the people that do it for me. It's the place, the people, and how enthusiastic the crowds are. So venue number 5 would have to be, as a last one, I'd say the Hollywood Bowl, because the same thing, the history, the atmosphere, it's always good weather, and we get on great with the local crew. And that is it for me, I'm afraid.
Well done, Yard. Very good.
Yeah, so I want to ask, because Jansen mentioned his favourite venues, I want to actually put it out to the 3 of you, including Mike, what your favourite venues are.
Mine probably would be the Albert Hall, Royal Albert Hall. It's a great, I love that venue, especially, you know, the history that comes behind it. First of all, it was like very, you know, prestigious place, and I got to play there with Ronnie Wood, so it was a really, really good experience for me. But I just loved, you know, the whole structure and layout of it, so that's definitely my favourite place.
Played with Rolling Stones, look at that.
Look out.
Go on, Steve.
I think one of my favourite ones that I've played is Brixton Academy, just because of the sort of punk rock nature of it for me. I just love it. It's sweaty, it's old, all the best rock bands, all the best bands in general have played there. And kind of the history once you get behind that, the first time sort of we played there, I was walking out on the floorboards, and just the smell of it, I just loved it. It was just one of my, and it still is to this day. I mean, big, small, outdoor, indoor, whatever, it's one of the places. I mean, there's so many places that I love that I would dream to play, like Hollywood Bowl or Royal Albert. Lucky fast. But like, you know, but like thus far, I think Brixton's one of my favourites, definitely.
And you, Mike?
Well, as a football fan, okay, it had to be Wembley.
Oh yeah, we did Wembley.
Yeah, it
didn't we?
had to be Wembley, because I was a real bit of a freak, really, and I went into all the changing rooms and had my photo taken coming in the tunnel.
Yes.
The actual ground, forget the ground, but actually, I mean, that as a football fan, it was just had to be done.
Come out
Had
wearing
nothing
your
to do with music at all. It was just having I did a little video of me walking out of the tunnel onto the ground. No one cheered, but it had to be Wembley. So yeah, I'm sorry, but as a football fan, it was Wembley.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Wembley was awesome. I think mine would be the Olympic Stadium, just because that was the first one, and quite frankly, I can't beat anything.
No, that was your first ever gig, and that's it.
Yeah, that was it. I'm
Can't
retired
top it.
now.
To me, I have played at the Emirates.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah, but not with Ronnie Wood.
Not with Ronnie, no.
Okay, did you play football or drums?
Playing drums, I did get to kick a ball.
Okay, in the goal?
In the goal.
Okay, there you are, see?
That's the moment.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
All right, we're now going to move on to the stick and listening to some drums being played. So we've got 2 kits behind us. We're going to have a bit play, and then you're going to give your opinion, and then we will reveal all. So the first kit is a modern kit with tops and specs, and the second kit is a modern reworking of a vintage kit.
Right.
So that's all I'm going to give you now. We'll explain more once we reveal. So Stick, can you please play kit A? So that's kit A. While the stick moves over, this will be kit B.
Nice.
Before we reveal, what did you like, not like, what was interesting sounds, your opinions on kit A or kit B, which one did you like the most?
Well, I suppose it depends on what kind of recording you're doing, but they kind of sound like you tuned them up to sound quite similar, didn't you? I think the second one was the vintage one. Was it?
I will tell you later.
Oh, okay. I don't know. What did I like? What did you like?
I preferred the second one.
Okay.
I kind of, you know.
Is there any particular reason it just sounded better, or?
Yeah.
It just had a bit of a warmer sound to it.
It did, yeah, it definitely had a...
Which one do you think was the vintage one, Dexter? Want to have a guess?
The second one.
Okay.
You want to say the second one? All right, we're now going to reveal all, and I'll explain the specs more.
Right.
Okay, so you can turn around and have a look. Are you both right?
Yay!
There we go.
So kit A is a Sonor Pro Lite. It has a 12 and 16 inch toms, a 20 inch kick drum and a 14 inch snare. The shells are maple with reinforcement rings and have 45-degree bearing edges. And kit 2, or kit B, is a Sonor Vintage Series in vintage white marine pearl finish, which I really like. It is a modern reworking of a vintage design. The kit has a 12-inch and 16-inch toms, a 22-inch bass drum and a 14-inch snare. The drums have a rounded bearing edges and it is to a replica of the vintage sound.
That looks lovely.
I do like that.
They both look lovely actually, but yeah, digging that.
Does look very vintage.
One of them.
Yeah, vintage kit. Good. Well done. Thank you very much. Thank you, Stick. He's looking. He looks like he's lost a little bit of weight again. His makeup's not so good today, is it?
No.
I think I'm not too sure if green's really
He
his
didn't come
colour.
and see me before the show, that's why.
Is that what it is?
He tried to do it himself. He wanted to prove he was independent.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Okay, guys. So, show and tell. Steve, what's your show and tell?
Well, today, Mike, I'll tell you what I brought. I brought a tattoo machine, and it's not just any tattoo machine. This is the machine that I learned how to tattoo on. I tattooed for many years in California, and just to sort of make money to buy symbols and stuff, And I did it for a while here in London. And this machine was hand built for me by one of my best friends called Eric D'Oliveira, and he's done loads of work on me as well. He taught me. How to be a professional in more ways, I think, in tattooing, but just kind of as a person. And he also was the first person that I started a band with where I actually had the confidence to come up from behind the kit. And I owe a lot to this guy. And when I moved over here, he made this for me, and he said, "Here, take this with you." So
It's
I
engraved.
kind of keep it with it. Yeah, he engraved it and everything. I call him
God.
Dice, so his
No,
nickname's
Mike
Dice,
gives
isn't
me
it?
a
Yeah.
tattoo.
Wow. Can I give you a tattoo at the end of the show?
Yeah, let's get some
fine.
needles and some tubes, and we'll go for it.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Dexter, what have you got for us?
Right. I brought along a gift that was given.
You shouldn't have borrowed Dexter.
It was given to me
Oh,
by
brilliant.
Ollie at the end of the Never Been Better Tour 2015.
Excellent.
It's got all of the dates. And
Show the camera.
if you can see that, zoom in on that. It's got my name on it. It's a really nice gift, man. I've
There's
got
all
this.
the ticket stubs as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. All the dates, all the venues that we played, all the small little tickets from
Yeah.
everywhere that we played. And I have this up in my studio. It's just a nice little reminder of something that I've done, that I've achieved. So yeah, it's really good.
Did he sign it for you?
No, he didn't. He actually gave me another one
Right.
that is at home, but he signed that put a nice little personalised message on there
Oh, cool.
telling me how good I was at football.
Okay. So he's lied.
No, he's telling the absolute truth. But no, yeah.
I don't know.
But,
He knows about your left foot, does he?
Yeah, he knows about that left foot.
Okay,
Done
that's
that
cool.
left foot.
Excellent. Very good.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, so news. So we've got a couple of things this show to talk about. The first thing is that Sabian have recently announced the launch of the Sabian Education Network, or SEN, as they've decided to call it, SEN, SEN. This is in an effort to build a community that will provide important tools for drum educators, and this is headed up internationally by a renowned educator called Joe Bagani, and is open to all educators. If you actually would like to get involved or find out more information, you've just got to join the SEN website. I've actually been on it. It's quite easy to navigate and get yourself around, and it's at www.sabian.com/join SEN. Also, the Mile Drum Festival has donated their instruments to the Danilo Prez Foundation in Panama, and also the Hungarian Kralovi Istvan Orphanage.
Okay.
I think I
Wow.
pronounced Istvan Orphanage.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, not
Yeah,
me.
I know.
Okay.
I thought I'd come and go, I'll be like, I've said this right, and I know he won't know. So basically all the proceeds from this year's drum festival over in Germany has been donated, plus all the instruments too.
Good.
So it's
Excellent.
great.
Great.
So we're going to quickly now also go off to Brent's Hang this week.
Oh, regular.
A little regular feature from Brent's Hang. Over to you, Brent.
Hey Mike and Jill, thanks again for having me on the show. I'm Brent Barnett, brand manager for Gibraltar Hardware, and I was fortunate enough to be able to sit down and have a little conversation with John Otto, drummer for Limp Bizkit, and we talked about everything from racks to stands to the G-Class pedal, so check out a short clip. So I'm here with John Otto, drummer for Limp Bizkit, ladies and gentlemen. Dude, John, what's up, dude? It's so awesome to see you, man. So let's talk your setup, man. I see that you've got your red fur. Is that the finish? What's the finish called?
Yeah, it's kind of, the look is kind of, like a Kango fur, the fuzzy Kango hats.
Yeah.
It's kind of what the idea behind that was.
What is your current setup like? I know you've got one rack tom here and then a floor tom, and you're playing the old school kit.
This is kind of a broken down version of what I usually use. I usually have 3 crashes up here. The chinas are right. I usually put one more splash here. I usually do 2 rack toms and 2 floor toms, and the double bass pedal, and then a second snare over here and a mini hi-hat.
Dude, I remember seeing this kit on your on the tours back in like the late '90s.
Oh yeah. This kid's definitely probably about 16 years old, maybe. I mean, I use all different kinds of setups, though. It just depends on the tour, like what I'm feeling. Because I kind of like to switch it up.
Why do you set up? You mentioned that you have like 2 toms, and they're offset compared to like a normal stock setup that you would see.
Yeah, they're offset because I like to just kind of be more at an angle, and plus I'm using the double pedal. So it's just, I don't know, I just like the way it feels a little bit better, you know.
Just
I don't know
kind of
why.
easier to get to?
Yeah, it's easier. I think it's easier. And plus I like I like the ride to be kind of tight next to me, you know what I mean? And if it's over here, then it's kind of gets away from me a little bit.
Right,
you know
tweaks
what I
your shoulder
mean?
out.
Yeah, exactly.
So you mentioned that your setup has changed throughout the time. Like, how many, like, what was it like when you were 20 years old versus what it is now?
I think I've gotten smart, you know, they say as you get older, you get kind of smarter about how you're doing things. Before I was just kind of like, just go for it type mentality, and instead of like really trying to see what fits better for me, you know. And I think now it's just gotten more about what's easier to get to without using too much motion. That's how my setup's kind of changed. And then it's also like, do I want to play real kick drums or do I want to just use a double pedal?
Let's talk about your rack for a second. When you first came to the company, you were playing this ginormous, like, double-tiered rack.
Yes.
So why did you make the choice to change over to stands?
Because that particular setup was for, you know, 2 kick drums. It was a metal kind of like, you know, Lars Ulrich, Neil Peart kind of setup, you know, and I just kind of wanted to get down to more of a tighter, cleaner, you know, more beat, simple setup, you know, because I just want it's a different kind of feel, you know. It's like, you know, when you're closer in and everything's right up on here, I can just kind of get into grooves better than when it's like you're like kind of like, whoa, everything's, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the reason why I just kind of you know, I want to switch it up.
So let's talk about the G-Class pedal a bit. I want to know what your thoughts are on it. You've been playing it for a while.
I love it. It's the best pedal I've ever used, hands down, out of any pedal that I've ever used for my whole, since I've been playing drums, since I was a kid.
How would you describe the feel of the pedal?
The feel of the pedal is real smooth and real clean. It's smooth. It's like there's no weird tension. There's nothing. It's just very, very precise.
Excellent. Well done, Brent.
Yes, thank you, Brent. So I do have, there's been a few things going around in the news as well today, so I've kind of wanted to put a question to you guys, which is about social network, you know, the importance of selling yourself, because that's really where it's all going, is online. I wanted to get your opinions on what you think, pros, cons, how you would think of going about it to help people like himself wanting to take a selfie of you guys while I'm asking you a question which is so not rude at all.
I might tweet it while it's going on, yeah.
So I wanted to get
your,
you know, particularly for you, Dexter, being more recent. It's not like Phil Gould or Steve Smith, who's been around for ages, who's had to do it completely different.
They're going to love that, by the way.
I know.
They're calling
But,
you.
you know,
What are you
it was
trying to
very
say?
different in their day compared to, you know, how it all kind of happens now. I wanted to get your
Tweet sent.
tweets
Wow.
out.
I've sent it.
There you go.
At D Hercs.
So I'll start with Dexter.
Right. Social media it's just the new age. It's the one, really. For me, Facebook, I've got a tour, you know, of somebody DMing me on Facebook. You know, it's just good, I think, for people to kind of see what you're doing, keep up with you. I'm trying to get more into putting videos out on YouTube, that kind of thing, so people can, you know, see how I play, see what I do. Instagram, so people can see pictures. It's just really important for me. It's one of the most important things of being accessible, people knowing, you know, that they can get hold of you, what you're up to day by day. So for me, it's super, super important.
Actually, I've watched one of your videos before we came here. I was like checking your stuff out, but one of them I couldn't find the one. I have no idea what you were doing. I was like, watching, like, what's this guy doing? I mean, I've heard of polyrhythms and things, but Jesus Christ, I have no idea what this guy's doing. That was nice.
So, social network.
No, agreed. You know, same. You know, when I first started, you know, bands and all that, it was it was sort of, internet really wasn't that, it was huge, but MySpace hadn't existed or anything. We had LiveJournal, I think was the closest thing we had in the States. So it took me a while to kind of come around to it, but then, a few years ago, once I finally started getting into it, I love it, and I totally agree. It's what's happening now. It's the way of the future. It's the way you market yourself and a band, and not only that, but it's a wonderful way to interact with all of your fan base. You give them a window into your sort of day-to-day life through it, and it's a wonderful way to kind of keep that community really tight with you. And also, promote yourself, get your music out there, anything you do, anything you're drumming on, singing on, DJing, whatever it is, Every day I wake up and it's like emails and it's like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and it's, in no way am I sort of embarrassed about that or whatever. Like a lot of people think it's kind of lame. It's not. It's like, it is totally the way of the future. And those, I think, who are, there's a lot of bands that I've read about recently that are trying to do no social network whatsoever and just to prove that it can, still exist without it, but they're having a pretty hard time. It's a good thing. It really is.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love Twitter. I'm addicted. I'm addicted.
He is addicted. But your website, started off being completely different.
This
to
show.
What it is, even this show is in itself.
Yeah, we again, like you say, the website's 15 years old. I don't think there was many drum websites at the time, but even this show, we decided to put it out onto YouTube because I think that's where, people go now. I think they're predicting in 2 years' time maybe there won't be TV as we know it. So I think social
smart telly and stuff like that.
Even channels are moving to being online only because everyone's consuming more on the internet. It's the future.
The future. And talking about the future, so we've come to use it or lose it, and we've got one product today, okay, and it's this lollipop. Oh no, sorry, it's this Vic Firth bass drum beater. They brought 3 bass drum beaters out. They brought a felt one out, a soft one out, and this is the wooden one. Okay, 2 plain surfaces. What do you think?
I tried this out actually. I think when the first sort of test models or whatever being done, and I loved everything Vic Firth makes. If I can say that on camera, absolutely. But these I don't like. I don't like these at all. I don't like the way it sounds and feels. And when the first time I actually played it, it almost broke the top of my foot because I don't know if the pedal that was on. I just sort of was playing it and it just came back and smacked me. My favorite, I think, to this day, always my DW9000 is just my favorite kick pedal, and the beater on it's perfect.
Right.
Flip it around so the plastic side's hitting it, and I've tried loads of different kinds of ones, but it's just always the one I go to, But that's your preference, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not that this is not a great product.
Okay.
What do you think?
I saw this on one of Vic Firth's videos on YouTube where there was a drummer playing and they kind of zoomed in on that. I was like, what's that? It looks pretty cool. I've not actually tried it out. I'd like to try it out.
That's mine. You can't have it.
Mate, I'd love to try it out, but I mean, I'm like you. I'm a fan of the 9000s.
Great pedals.
Great pedals, great beaters.
beaters.
But this is something I'd definitely like to try.
Okay, cool. Well, again, thank you so much. It is really good catching up with both of you. Like I said, we do actually, unfortunately, go back a long way, but it's always fun. I hope I haven't embarrassed you too much. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, everybody. So we'll see you back here for show number 8. Thanks, everybody, and goodbye. Ta-ra. Da-da, 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 da-da.